In this video, we're going to go through the alarm functions of the NVR. So we will right click, go to the bottom, click on Setup, and enter the password here. We're going to head over to the alarm function. So in here, you can see we have the various types of alarm: motion, PIR, input output from the alarm input outputs on the board, combination alarm, PTZ linking, exception. We've got an alarm schedule, voice prompts, deterrence options, siren option, and disarming option. So under motion, for example, we can turn the buzzer off and on. The buzzer is the actual NVR will beep. So do we want it off or do we want it to beep for 10 seconds? Alarm out is what we want to do in the event of motion. So we could have it, for example, if you had something connected to your NVR, it could alert you, or we could use alarm out for sirens, etc. Latch time. This is to do with how long it sees the motion before it decides to alarm. Do we want it to record? Yes, we do. Which channels do we want it to record? So, for example, if motion is detected on 1, I could say I want channel 1 and channel 5 to record, or record all channels. Post-recording, you can set from anywhere between 30 seconds and 5 minutes based on the motion. Do you want it to show a message, which will be basically a pop-up? Do you want it to send an email? FTP picture upload if you've set up FTP. You can also FTP video upload if you've set that up, and picture to cloud, and you can also do video to cloud. You can also do full screen, which will pop up on the NVR. So it will get rid of the grid and bring it up full screen for you. And do you want it to do a voice prompt? For example, we could say yes, but we're only to do a voice prompt between sort of 6 o'clock at night and 7 o'clock, and then don't do it after that. And which cameras would the voice prompt come out of? PIR is exactly the same, so we won't really go through this, but yeah, if your camera supports PIR and a PIR detection happens, how does we deal with that? Again, for the IO, this is for your input output. You need to know if the alarm type is normally open or normally closed. Do we want it to buzz? Do we want an alarm out? Again, we've got the channels to record, etc. across here. So it's pretty much all the same there. Now with combination alarm, what we can do here is we can enable the alarm, and we can set a combination configuration. So for example, if motion is detected on channel 1 and it's also detected on channel 2, we can select what happens. So it's basically a double knock system. And again, we've got the same options we've seen already before. PTZ linkage. So here, if we've got a PTZ camera, we could turn this on and we could link it to the PTZ. So if motion was detected, say on channel 1, which isn't a PTZ camera, we could then say go to the PTZ camera, and we could select the PTZ, which for example could be channel 5, and we could set a preset. So here would be like number preset 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So then what happens? Motion is detected on channel 1. The PTZ will pan and tilt to its preset position of channel 5, and then we just apply those settings. Under exception, here we've got certain events that can happen, like no space on disk. So the disk is full, there's an error on the disk, or there's video loss. So we can select what happens. So for example, we want the DVR to buzz. We can turn that on. We could have it do an alarm out. How long does it need to be in an error state? Again, which is your latch time. Do we want it to show a message, which is always a good thing. So it will come up on the screen and say you've got a hard drive issue. It can send you an email if you've set up email, and you could also have a voice prompt as well. Under alarm schedule, you can do this by channel. So for example, if we didn't want the alarm out triggering from say 8 o'clock in the evening, and again to the early hours of the morning. We can take that out and we can apply that by channel. Push notifications is notifications to your phone. So if you don't want notifications after, say, 8 o'clock at night, we can take them off. And again, if you don't want them in the morning, and you can apply, all of this is done by channel. FTP uploads, again, if you don't want it doing it at certain times, we can adjust that. We can tell it not to do cloud uploads at a certain time, the buzzers not to go off at certain times, and voice prompts do not occur after certain times. And you can just click apply down here. Here is your voice prompt. So here we can select a voice prompt that can come out of the camera on a supported camera. So for example, here we can import a file. So you've got local conversation, which is you can type it in and the NVR will translate it as best it can. Or what you can do is you can actually import a file. So you can download some files from the footage, from the internet that say things like you're being recorded on CCTV. You can click on import, you can select the file from a USB stick and you can upload it directly into the recorder. And you can loop it as well. So if you want multiple voice prompts, we can do that as well. Then under Deterrence, here we can set what happens if your camera supports Deterrence. So we've got a Deterrence set up, which we could enable here, and we can say the floodlight value, what we want it to be from anywhere, from sort of like 0 all the way up. We've got duration, so this is how long the light will stay on. Do we want the image to flip into color? And what type of light do we want? Do we want a light strobe or a warning light? So obviously we can tick that. We can set the schedule. So based on motion detection, this area, the light wouldn't come on because it's going to be daylight. And then we can turn on the motion switch here, which activates that. If it detected perimeter intrusion detection, again, we can turn that on. We can do it for face detection, pedestrian and vehicle, perimeter intrusion, line crossing, stationary object, cross counting, crowd density, queue density, license plate detection, and rare sound detection. Everything is customizable schedules. Then also we have a siren schedule here, so we can select the channel that sirens. We can enable it. We can choose the alarm. You can have a couple of different alarm sounds which would appear in here. We can set the siren level between up to 10. We can select the duration of the siren, and again we can select the schedule of the siren, and again based on what kind of detection it's picked up, we can schedule that as well. And here you've got disarming, which we'll cover on a separate video to do with the app. So we can disarm and arm the system from the app, and when it's armed, we can have things like the buzzer working, the alarm out, the show message, send email, full screen prompts, voice prompts, etc. And we can also schedule when it arms and disarms itself.